So today I'll be talking about reasons why people are single. Yes, and we've done this before, and these reasons are different this time. They're the usual reasons, someone that doesn't want a relationship. The other reasons, like someone doesn't socialize, doesn't have the time to meet people, was hurt and is trying to heal from a relationship. And there's the other reason, people that haven't met the right person yet. So there are different reasons why a person is single. And this one I want to talk about today is more of the individual reason. So on the platform, obviously, we meet a lot of singles. And there's some things that I've seen and I'm like, clearly, this is why this person is single. Because sometimes on the platform, someone signs up and you're like, why in the world is this person single? Then when you interact a little bit more, you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I know why you're single. Not in a bad way. I know it sounds so horrible, but not in a bad way, but in a concerned way, a concerned way. So there was a lady and she was like so good looking. I was like, why the hell would this lady be single? And she was also very polite because we had one lady once that was so rude. With her rudeness, I just clearly knew. I was like, yeah, this is probably why she's single. She was so rude. I'm like, nobody really wants someone that's very rude. And she was aware too. She was like, yeah, but she wants someone that will take her as she is. The whole take me as I am thing. People love to do that. People love the whole take me as I am. You're not willing to change or get better, if it's something that you feel or is not, be a better version of yourself, because I don't feel anybody is obligated to take you as you are. All in the bit of, oh, the person likes me as I am. The take me as I am goes for certain things, but people like to throw it in there for everything. No, would you even take yourself as you are? Would you even take yourself? Like, if you're very rude, would you want a guy that was equally rude? Like, would you want a rude guy too? It's not rude people's club. I don't know. Would you want a rude guy? You probably want someone that was polite and stuff. So if someone could take the time to work on themselves, I think you could. So I digress. I'm going to go back to the other lady. So this lady was so pretty. I was like, oh my goodness, why is she single? I was just wondering. And she was also not rude, like the other lady. She was very polite, nice, and everything. But people gave us feedback, obviously, based on their matches. And then a lot of the feedback we got was that she was very, what's the word? I don't want to say prideful. I don't want to say saucy. I'm trying to look for like the best term. Let me just give you the examples of things she did. So maybe you can find the time to describe it. But she once told the guy that, I guess she missed his call. And he called her back. And I think she answered or something. I don't know. But she said this exact statement that that you should be really glad and lucky that I'm talking to you, that my time, for me to even give you my time, you should be glad and lucky. Not everybody gets the opportunity. Statements like that. I'm not saying the time isn't important or you're not that kind of important person, but can someone just find that out for themselves? Then you tell them. Because saying that to someone is almost like you've already assumed that their own time is not that important, that you are just the most important person. According to the guy, the best thing since sliced bread. Like, she believes she's like the best thing since sliced bread. So that kind of attitude towards things, like making it seem that people are not on your level. You should be worshipped. They should be lucky you're even looking their way. That kind of attitude might not be the best. It's just. So I kind of understood and I was like, okay, maybe this is why. So that's what I mean by reasons why people are single, individual reasons. Sometimes you might have a character flaw that you're not even aware of. Sometimes you're aware of it and not willing to change. These are reasons you should definitely look at if you're looking to not be single. And some other people's reasons for being single, the individual reason, is the search for perfection. So there's a guy that signed up once, and for every profile, he just dissected it. He was like, no, she's evil. She's too tall. She's too light skinned. She's this. Oh, she studied at this school. Oh, she's a banker. Yeah, like he legit said, she's a banker. And I was like, why don't you want to date a banker? And he was like, well, there's stories. Well, before I go too far. So he dissected every single profile for one reason or the other. So there's that search for perfection. Like, I want this perfect person. And that might be another reason why you're single. Search for perfection. And you are just looking for this, I don't know, so that might be another reason, because it really isn't anybody perfect out there, so, you're not perfect yourself, so The reason why I wanted to talk about the personal, individual reasons why people might be single is because sometimes we're not aware of the reasons. Sometimes we're aware and not willing to change. So if you are one of those people that you're aware that you have this character flaw that you feel like you don't like or people might not like, but you're okay with, you might even want to change that if you feel like, example, being rude, and you're aware that you're rude, you might want to just be nicer. People like nice people. So if you don't know the reason why, you might want to ask too, because sometimes, we get the back end of the gist. We get someone else, the people on the other end, telling us the reason why it just didn't work with that one person. And if 4 people say the same thing about you, it's likely that there's a truth in it. So if you're on the platform and you want that constructive let's just call it criticism, just constructive feedback on what your dates were like. Maybe all your people you matched with didn't work out. Maybe they all had something to say about you. There might be an ounce of truth in it. So you might want to, take that route and learn, and just listen to what people have to say about going on dates with you. I personally would love to have that. I would love to go on a couple of dates and then get that feedback, like, oh, we all thought you were too quiet, or you were too boring, or you were too this or that. And I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, obviously everybody's defensive at first. Everyone's going to be like, we had a case where the girl was like, no, I'm not boring. All my friends are really interesting. This lady's case, she asked for that feedback. And then we asked the people, and they said she was boring. And she was like, no, my friends think I'm very interesting. I'm not boring, of course. I'm interesting. And I was like, I'm just, just giving you the information you asked for. And then I understood what parties were coming from. Her chats were kind of boring because she was giving the one-word answers. Like they would ask, how was your day? She would say, fine. They would say, so what are you up to? Nothing. It was kind of just, they're like, oh, hope. I remember one guy wrote like, hope last night was fun. You did this, you did that, I did. He wrote like a whole lot, sentence. And she just answered with yes. I was like, personally, if someone replied that way with me, I would feel like I was disturbing that person. I wouldn't want to chat with that person again. So maybe that's the reason why they're saying this. So I tried to point that out to her. So these are part of the reasons why people might be single. Like I said, individual reasons why you might be single. You might want to look into it.